Did anyone ever warn you that life after 80 can feel like a curveball you never saw coming? Even if you thought you prepared for every twist and turn, you might have imagined that growing older simply meant adding more candles to your birthday cake, celebrating milestones with family photos, and gentle reminders that wisdom comes with age. Yet the reality of crossing into your 9th decade carries with it a handful of surprising shifts, quiet, almost invisible changes in the way others see you, in how you connect with the world, and even in how your own body behaves. These 5 unexpected truths of life after 80 aren't written in medical charts or broadcast in public service announcements. They are woven into day-to-day moments. The silence settling in a once lively living room, the frustration in waiting for a bruise to fade, the odd emptiness when someone walks past without a greeting, the feeling that your usual haunts have shrunk into distant memories, and the unpredictability of muscles and joints that once carried you through every adventure. By naming these realities, you don't surrender to the idea of decline, but rather position yourself to navigate this chapter with more awareness, compassion, and purpose. Stay with me until the end, because while these truths can seem harsh, acknowledging them can open doors to deeper peace, renewed strength, and a sense of solidarity with every soul who's ever wondered, is this normal? Let's explore what few people talk about and discover how understanding these shifts can help you live your 80s not as a decline, but as a new frontier of insight and connection. It might start subtly, an invitation that never arrives, a phone call that peters out after a few minutes, a friend who used to drop by for tea now checking in only once in a blue moon. Before you realize it, the rich tapestry of social encounters you wove over decades begins to unravel, thread by thread. One of the first harsh realities of life after 80 is the shrinking world of social connection. When we're young, friendships bloom effortlessly. Playground pals become college roommates become work confidants, and every shared coffee or impromptu lunch cements a bond. But once you cross into your 80s, those bonds can fray under the weight of distance, health challenges, and shifting priorities. Friends move to warmer climates or retirement communities. Family members juggle jobs, children, and commitments. Even the most steadfast companions may struggle with mobility or memory, and visits that once felt like routines suddenly require planning, extra travel time, or medical clearance. You may find yourself spending afternoons gazing out the window, recalling laughter that once echoed through your home, or scanning your phone screen for messages that don't appear. This isn't about bitterness or regret. It's about honesty, recognizing that environments, routines, and relationships evolve, sometimes beyond our control. And yet, within that honesty lies the opportunity for intentional connection. By acknowledging that social rhythms have changed, you can seek meaningful interaction in new ways, scheduling calls with friends who live miles away, joining virtual gatherings, or cultivating a deep friendship with a neighbor or caregiver who truly listens. When the crowd thins, the few who remain close become treasures. The test of this era isn't in avoiding loneliness, but in discovering the depth of connection possible with even a handful of kindred spirits. At the same time, you may notice that minor health glitches no longer stay minor. A sniffle that once disappeared in a day might linger into a week, stealing energy and peace of mind. A small bruise or strain demands extra care and patience, as your body's remarkable healing powers take longer to kick into gear. Misjudge a step on the curb, and you could find yourself navigating the labyrinth of physical therapy. This leads to the second unexpected truth of life after 80. Small health issues often balloon into larger concerns, not because something catastrophic must happen, but because the margins for error shrink as you age. When you were younger, a sleepless night might lead to a groggy morning, but by afternoon you'd be up to speed. Now, missing a night's rest can cascade into headache, muscle soreness, and irritability that lingers days. Forgetting to hydrate properly might result in a dizzy spell or digestive upset. The parts of your body that once toppled minor injuries into distant memories now demand your care and respect. But within this shift lies a form of empowerment. By learning to notice subtle signals, fatigue, stiffness, mood changes, you can intervene early, adjusting diet, rest, or exercise to stay ahead of flare-ups. You'll discover the art of pacing yourself, finding joy in gentle movement, stretching routines that feel like massages for stiff joints, and the satisfaction of small victories, walking a little farther, standing a minute longer, or noticing your spirit lift when you honor your body's cues. In this chapter, true strength isn't measured by how much you can still do, but by how wisely you listen to your body and respond with compassion. Another startling reality you may encounter after 80 is the quiet loss of visibility, an experience that cuts deeper than mere invisibility. It's the moment you realize people no longer turn their heads when you enter a room, the warmth of recognition replaced by polite nods as they wait for their turn to speak. You might start sentences only to notice distracted glances, or find that when you finish sharing, someone else has already taken the floor. The world increasingly prioritizes youth, speed, and novelty, and wisdom, lived experience, and calm reflection can feel sidelined. It's not born of ill will. Rather, it's a cultural current that equates newness with value. This fading of presence becomes a third, unexpected truth of life after 80. Your voice no longer commands immediate attention, even in rooms full of familiar faces. But do not mistake this shift for an assessment of your worth. Your life story, your perspective, and your humor remain as vital as ever. Recognizing this change empowers you to claim your space gently but firmly. Speaking up, sharing your memories in one-on-one conversations, or writing letters and voice recordings that capture your insights. You might find younger listeners eager to learn, to hear stories of bygone eras, or to glean lessons from decisions you made decades ago. By sharing in small, intentional circles, you remind the world that visibility isn't only about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about choosing when to share and with whom, so your words drop like seeds into receptive hearts. As your network and daily habits transform, you may also experience the narrowing of your everyday landscape. The favorite cafe where you sip morning coffee might have closed. The park bench where you once fed pigeons could be overgrown. Your legs may not carry you as far, turning a one simple stroll into a more deliberate, measured activity. This isn't about giving up independence. It's the fourth truth of life after 80. Your external world begins to feel smaller, not all at once, but gradually, day by day. Familiar routes require more energy, familiar faces relocate, and the comforts of home become refuges from the effort of venturing out. Yet within this contraction, a different kind of richness can blossom. Life's scale needn't be measured in miles traveled, but in moments savored. A moment of sunlight on your kitchen floor, the scent of fresh flowers on your windowsill, or a phone call that unfolds into a heartfelt conversation. All these carry weight. By focusing on quality rather than quantity of experiences, you allow new layers of meaning to emerge. You might start a small garden in pots on your balcony, cultivating a sense of wonder with each sprout. You could host a weekly tea ritual with a neighbor who shares your memories and anecdotes. Even the smallest foray outside, an errand for groceries, or a tender exchange with a mail carrier, can feel like an adventure when seen through the lens of gratitude and presence. Perhaps most unsettling of all is the unpredictability of your own body. You plan to dress for a morning walk, only to find your joints stiff and your balance shaky. An afternoon spent reading breezes by with mental clarity, but the next day your mind feels clouded, as though thoughts drift in and out of focus. These fluctuations can be disheartening, striking at your confidence and sense of autonomy. This leads to the fifth truth of life after 80. Your body becomes an ever-shifting terrain, full of surprises you can neither predict nor control. Muscle strength, reaction time, even sensory perceptions can vary from day to day. One morning you might bend with ease to tie your shoes. The next you pause, weighing the effort against the caution in your bones. Yet in learning to navigate this uncertainty lies a profound opportunity to become flexible, adaptable, and centered in ways you never imagined. Instead of viewing your body as a foe that betrays you, you cultivate a partnership based on listening, adjusting expectations, and celebrating small wins. You learn new strategies, supporting yourself during daily tasks, using assistive aids that restore independence, practicing breathing exercises that calm both mind and muscles, and gently reminding yourself that rest is not failure, but a cornerstone of resilience. These 5 realities, dwindling social circles, fragile health recoveries, fading visibility, shrinking worlds, and bodily unpredictability, shape a landscape of aging few anticipate. But within that landscape, you possess an inner reservoir of wisdom, honed by decades of triumphs, losses, and lessons learned. By acknowledging these shifts, you arm yourself with understanding and invite strategies that transform potential obstacles into invitations for growth. You can proactively seek companionship in new forms, adjust your health routine to honor patience over speed, reclaim your voice in intimate settings, find wonder in scaled-down adventures, and celebrate the dialogue between body and spirit that emerges when you listen deeply. So, which of these truths resonates most with you? Have you noticed the quiet thinning of friends, the stubborn lingering of bruise, the way people pause before listening to your words, the feeling that your world has folded in on itself, or the unpredictable sway of your own strength? Share your experience, and perhaps the wisdom you offer will become a guide for someone else navigating their 80s. After all, growing older doesn't mean losing worth or vitality. It means gaining perspective. And when we face these realities not in isolation but together, we weave a community of support that honors every stage of life. Thank you for spending this time exploring life after 80 with me. I hope these reflections bring you comfort, courage, and a renewed sense of agency. Remember, name what you're living through. Reach out for connection where you can honor the signals your body sends and cherish every moment, no matter how small it may seem. See you in the next video.